Hello, and thank you for tuning in to the Ground Sound. My name is the Salty Spittoon.
I'm Chunky Guggen.
I'm Stinky Fish Whisperer.
And I'm Josh.
And we have so very much to talk about today, people.
Okay, well, a week ago from last Thursday, we went to Le Cave to see a friend play, and we ran into this band called Wetwood Smokes. Totally
Yes.
blew my mind. Didn't expect very much from them because I think it was a 3-piece. Is that right?
Yeah, and it just, I don't know. Le Cave is a really cool place. You just can never tell
I
when someone's
disagree.
going to kill it. Oh, yeah, Le Cave. No, I just, it's kind of a cool vibe to me. It's just, it's underground. It has like that red, like, I don't know.
Velvet.
Yeah, the red velvet kind of like the cloth
Cupcakes.
stuff. And it's really cool, but I just...
It's a swanky looking place.
Yeah,
when you
it
go
is.
down there.
It smells like steak.
It's
and makes
a
me
great
hungry.
steakhouse in a basement, but it's a crappy venue.
It is.
I despise that place for so many reasons.
I feel like
that's
it'd be more
That's a little strong. I'm
It
sorry.
would be more suitable for like a jazz club.
Absolutely.
Or something.
But even I don't think
like
it's
the
suited for.
Continental Room vibe.
yeah.
No. Continental Room I think is a lot cooler. And a
Oh,
lot
we had
more
this conversation.
laid out better.
But then out of nowhere, going back to this next band, out of nowhere, you see this 3-piece kind of putting things together, and you don't think much,
Yeah.
and they turned out being incredible.
The thing
I
that
love their style.
The thing that caught my eye initially was that it was a 3-piece, but they had more instruments than people, and that's always a good sign. It's like, all right, we have multi-instrumentalists.
Cool.
There was a drum set, there was a drum trigger pad, but it wasn't used by the drummer. There was a keyboard, more guitars than guitarists, and a bass.
What's the style of music here? Because whenever I hear like drum triggers, I think more of an
it's
indie
not
vibe.
don't I guess focus on the drum triggering part because that's only used in one song, but they use it for the entire song.
Nice.
So
Neat.
I don't think we're playing that clip today, but it's on their album. They're self-titled, so check that out.
So it's
very cool.
So what is this on like a rock vein, a southern rock?
It's
kind of
definitely
vibe?
more. It's not southern. It's more of an indie rock
Yeah.
sort of. Black Keys meets. I'm thinking vocal qualities. Well, why don't we just play it and then we can talk about it after?
Yeah.
I want you to tell me right now.
Oh, boy.
Put me on the spot.
I'm just
What
kidding.
can
We
the listeners expect?
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's okay. I'll just listen to it.
All right. Well, this is the first clip that we're going to play from Wetwood Smokes. It's called Madeline, and this is off of their self-titled EP. Called Wetwood Smokes. Enjoy. I think this is the first song that caught my attention when they played it because it was just so groovy and so
Yeah.
jammy.
Yes.
Like, you could see them just feeling it, playing it. The bass player was just in the pocket, just playing them.
It just
bass
sounded
grooves.
like velvet. Like
Yeah, it did.
Smooth soul. Just
Yeah.
And even the vocals, because it's so easy, especially in Le Cave when you're using a crappy PA system for the vocals to be harsh. But he was using some sort of vocal processor to give it that distortion-y sound. So what you hear on the record is what he sounded like live, and it was super
Yeah.
cool.
he did not.
It's amazing how well that recording sounds, and they seem that they've really tapped into a certain specific sound.
Yeah.
Like they sound they've been playing it
Absolutely.
for 3 years.
And the whole record like sounds like that too. And if I'm not mistaken, I was on their Facebook, and I think they did it like a total garage thing where it was just here's Pro Tools and a
Really?
couple microphones.
I guess
Yeah.
they just moved to Anaheim. Like they just got here. I don't know, maybe 6 months
from
ago.
where?
From where? Yeah.
I can't remember exactly, and I don't want to miss a quote because I get called out for being wrong.
No idea where they're from, but we're glad they're in Orange County because I think we found a band that is so small that we can see them grow into a medium or even large size in terms of popularity in a small amount of time. I
Yeah.
don't see them playing any shows.
Yeah.
So I would love to get them
Oh,
on the
man.
bill for, if we throw another
The
Unearthed
next
event or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or, I don't know. I don't know if Bill Bennett has heard of these guys yet. But I'm sure he'll swipe them up.
Yeah.
Everybody that was there, at least with us, seemed to
grooving.
be
Yeah.
pretty impressed
Yeah.
by them.
Who played that night? Who'd you guys go there to see? I was only
We
asking
had
to
to.
try to see what crowd these guys hang in. Because we're pretty well established here in the area. We do pretty much know the different groups,
Humble
and I don't
brag.
know anybody in this group.
Yeah.
One of the things is he had the coolest
Hair?
keyboard synth.
Oh.
Okay, Derek.
He has the same keyboard as
Yeah,
Robert
I
John, or Steve from Robert John.
No, it's
The
just
Nord.
cool. He had the black keys and then the white,
Yeah, the
white
inverted.
yeah,
Oh no,
it's
he had
com-
the freaking Korg.
yeah,
Yeah, that thing was cool.
It was really, really cool looking. That was the first thing. I just had to say that. But all right, the harmonies though. I want to talk about those. Because I believe was he the bassist?
the bassist and the
Yeah.
singer guitarist.
And the
keyboardist.
bassist just came in and harmonies can really be the same exact thing every time. But this guy just really he picks good harmonies that aren't used that much, and I love hearing that because you kind of expect one harmony and you hear another one. It's pretty cool.
That's right. The bassist's name is Christian Kano, and it was cool. For one of the songs, they literally did like a almost like a Chinese fire drill and changed instruments. You remember that? Cool. So like the bassist ended up behind drums.
Neat.
The guitarist ended up on bass, and
Cool.
the drummer ended up on guitar.
Wow.
For one of the songs.
Jeez, that's really cool though.
That's kind of in the same vein as Lonely Wild, right? Don't they get up and switch
Yeah,
instruments?
but
They
the
play
drummer-
they don't-
8 things.
But the thing
each.
is, Lonely Wild never really moved from their positions. They just pick up the other bass or the other guitar, hand
Okay.
off a guitar. These guys literally ran to the
so it's like
different
the
areas.
instruments were cemented in the ground.
That's
and
exactly
then-
right. Yeah,
Yeah.
Just tethered down with I don't know,
That's really
chains.
cool. And everyone was as competent as one player.
Yeah,
as-
I never felt like one was like, dude, that guy should not be playing.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, I think I did think that. I think it may have been the singer guitarist on bass, whatever he was playing was really simple. But other than that, I mean, bass is bass.
Everyone was really well versed.
And I don't think that's a reflection of his skill level. I think
Yeah.
it was a simple song with a simple bass line.
Yeah,
So.
very cool. Now I know we're gonna dig into another clip here, but I was just wondering, is this the vibe that's overarching on all their stuff? Just very smooth and groovy, like this
It
kind
is.
of
It doesn't
stuff?
really get too up tempo. I think the most it does is going to be what we show on the next clip.
Cool.
But again, I've only heard. Actually, I think they only have this one EP, and I've heard the whole thing probably a dozen times because it's so short.
Nice.
It doesn't get too crazy. Doesn't slow down too much. But
Cool.
that's a good place to play the clip. Okay, this one's called A Better Man, and this again they got their self-titled.
Good work.
Yeah.
Standing naked with the lights down, baby. I'm trying to figure out what you want me to do. Just a shot in the dark is the best I can do. Maybe I'll hear what you wanted me to. But if I could find a better man for you, know that that's exactly what I'd do. If I could find a better man, I'd leave and not come back again.
Stuff, though, right?
Yeah, that is very cool.
They've got this really indie vibe to
Yeah.
them, and They're really good. I feel like their skill level and their sound doesn't really come across entirely on the record. I enjoyed them live far more than I did on the record. You know, but I still listen to it a dozen times, so it's that good.
Yeah,
you
I would
know?
say like it is a very kind of low. I don't want to say low energy, but it is. It's not a big sound. But
It's
I
not.
like that.
But when they're playing live,
Yeah.
you can tell that they're putting their all into it, and there is a lot of energy
Yeah,
behind
yeah.
it, even though it's not a whole high energy sort of a feel of the music. You know?
Exactly. You know, and I like that about indie music is that it can get to these really, if you want to call it small places, but still be very effective
Right.
in what it's doing.
And it's catchy as hell.
Yeah,
yeah.
All of his choruses are just okay. It's stuck in my head for the next 3 hours.
And that one especially was just super bouncy. It was a
Woo!
more up tempo song, and the bass drums just pounding
Yeah,
constantly on the quarter notes.
Yeah,
right.
and I like how the guitars kind of dance around. You know, he's not really doing just one thing. He's actually doing.
Yeah,
like
they do a lot of changes.
Yeah, a little mini riff there. You know, and instead of just playing the chords properly, but it's cool stuff. I'd love to see these guys.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
nice to have a band like this in the area. You don't see a lot of this in Orange County.
Indie rock.
Not like low tempo indie rock. Who sounds like this?
All right. Well, you gotta let me give me an hour to think about it, and I can come up with at least one.
Like
name.
we got a lot of indie rock in the area, but I think a lot of
Yeah.
people embrace this larger sounded vein of indie rock.
Yeah.
And you know, indie rock is such a
Broad
big
term,
category,
yeah.
you know. But it's like these guys are okay with toning it down,
Yeah.
being something a little bit mellower, but not being beach rock. You know,
Yeah, right,
But
exactly.
Being mellower, but still being indie.
And I think that's
like it.
exactly that. Like you said, this is kind of refreshing. I mean, I hadn't heard something like that in a long time, or at least live in our scene. So good to see them.
Yeah.
Check them out. They're on Facebook. They're on iTunes. They're on Bandcamp. Good stuff. That was the Wetwood Smokes. Well, that's our show. So
Wow.
again, we want to remind you to support your local music. Today we talked about Wetwood Smokes, a local band, and the Bright Light Social Hour. And they're not local; they're from Austin, Texas. You can find their stuff on iTunes and Bandcamp, I believe, at least for a Bright Light. Wetwood, I think it's only Bandcamp. I'm not sure if they're on iTunes. They're a smaller band, but you know. Find them, see if they're playing a local show, especially Wetwood. Buy some merch, support your local music. You can contact us at podcast@unearthmusichub.com or
As far as social media goes, on Facebook, we are at Unearth Music Hub, 3 words, Twitter and Instagram at unearth_MH. Well, we thank you for coming on, as always.
Thanks, Sam, again.
Thank you for listening, people. We'll see you next week.
woo hoo hoo.